Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is UHAK 1012 Global Citizen Skill. In the end of this topic, the UTM students should have this outcome, which is the students are aware of the wider world and has a sense of their own role as the world citizen. Um, you have a respect and values of diversity. The student have an understanding of how the world works, participate in and contributes to the community locally and globally so as to make the world as a more equitable and sustainable place and takes responsibility for their actions. So what are global citizen skills? So for global citizens, okay, they are required to have these skills in that they are able to ask questions and develops critical thinking skills, and they are able to have to equip young people with the knowledge, skill, and values to participate, acknowledging the complexity of global issues such as global warming, unemployability, industrial revolution 4.0, and so on, revealing the global as part of everyday life, understanding how we relate to the environment and each other as human beings. So meaning that in overall, we want to develop the students of UTM especially to have the mind of engineers, but with the global citizen skills, meaning that you are as an engineer and at the same time you are actually thinking about the people, the global issues. So we are in the 21st century context. So as a global citizenship, we are actually linked to others on every continental in this world. Okay, we are actually interconnected in social, okay, through telecommunications. We are also connected culturally through the movement of the people. So as you can see, people flies everywhere and so on, but not at this COVID-19 pandemic called season, okay, where all people are discouraged to travel, but we are actually interconnected every part of the world through transportation, right? And we are also interconnected economically. Okay, we have what? Maybe we have two different, two economic type. For example, the what you call the capitalist and also what you call, and then the second one is the socialist or communism. Okay, so Malaysia, we are actually tied with this capitalist economics. So it's actually we are interconnected to each other due to this capitalist economics. And obviously, we are interconnected environmentally because we are sharing one planet. So we are sharing the same problem with the global warming and so on. And we are also politically connected through internal systems of regulations and also standards and so on that has been imposed by certain body, for example, United Nations and so on. So this one. So this is this discussion. So look at this picture. What can you deduce about the woman and her child? So based on the figure, the answer can be either can can be as listed below. They have a house which is different, and it is hot place, a very small house, very poor, no proper clothing, no shoes. They are not working maybe. They actually a single mother. Okay, they are left by their families. They have to sleep on the floor, too poor to go to the school, and live in the rural and undeveloped area. Okay, not very clean place and so on, and no proper food. So that is actually the suggestion of the answer that you can see after looking at the picture. Okay, so look at this picture again and focus on similarities uh, rather than difference. So the answer can be the child wears t-shirt and trousers like us, right? We are using shirt. Okay, they have a home and a motorcycle like us also. It's warm and they sit outside of the house, same like us. If the very hot place, if in a very hot temperature, sometimes we go out. Okay, and the mother loves the child. So that is this maybe the similarities that we can find from the picture. Okay, another exercise. This is the world map. Okay, and shade and mark on the map these countries based on the number given. So I think most of you will can mark the countries uh, in what you call in correct places. Okay, for example, we have Mongolia here, so which is a very, I think most of you are very familiar with the Mongolia. Okay, because we have several cases that involve with the Mongolian and Somalia. So Somalia is actually inside the Africa, but I don't know which part of Africa the Somalia is. Okay, the Yemen also I know this is actually here. I think this is Yemen. Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan is in this part of the world, but for accurate position, I didn't also know the Argentina. So Argentina, I know this is Brazil, right? But Argentina, I think this one, I think. Okay, and United States of America, of course. I know this is the part of the America. Okay, but since actually I think most of you knows about the countries, so actually for global citizen, that is one of the main generic, okay, the main what you call characteristic that the students, the UTM students should have to be a global citizens, meaning that they're aware on the locations, they're aware about the geographic location and so on of the countries in the world. And then this is some symbol that may be can be identified based on this symbol. So the symbol one here is normally, I think, is related to Islamic country. Okay, this can be a symbol from Turkey flag. Uh, this symbol also can be found in Johor State flag and so on. So, but mostly this will actually reflect the Islamic country, and this one is actually reflect the what they call uh, the eastern part, which is the maybe the Chinese, the Japan, Korea, and so on. Okay, so this is the Africa continental, and this is the China. Okay, what can you say about these two? Okay, so Africa, as we can see, is actually is a continental. One is a big continental here with a small countries, and most of them are undeveloped countries. and most of it is actually a very poor. Okay, the countries are very poor, and okay, that's the one that is actually several things that I can say about Africa. And China is actually, we can say, it's a communist country, but it also hold one of the biggest economics hold in the world, and also the biggest country in terms of the workers. Okay, and then and what else about China? Some of the items produced is very cheap compared to the US made and so on. So in order to actively engage in identifying civic issues, one must have the ability to question culture and how this understanding is represented in communities. Reflects of one's own culture is important, so he can reflect on aspects of other cultures. So the characteristic of the culture include learned, shared, transgenerational, symbolic, pattern, and adaptive. So how can we explore culture? So this is actually several methods that how can we explore the culture. So actually to get a clear picture, what you need to do is to observe by your own eyes. Okay, observe. This is the most clear method on how to have a to explore the culture. If you go deep into the sea, so it's actually very not clear because you are just based on interpretation and assumption. And if you want to have a clear picture of the culture of a society, you begin to have interviews and surveys and belief and values. And to have that very clear picture, what you need to do is to observe it by your own eyes and um, also study the behavior of the culture. Okay, the key points to take away today. So don't focus on the difference. Okay, to be a global citizenship, to be a good global citizens, okay, one should actually focus on similarities rather than the difference. Challenge narrow and stereotype views of people and places. Present a balanced view between the positive and negative, understanding the culture and its diversity, ethics of the community engagement to be at the forefront in any of our social work. So this is some quote from Thomas Friedman. Uh, the globalization is not the only thing influencing event in the world today, but to the extent that there is a North Star and a worldwide shaping force. It is this system. What is actually the fragment comment above serves to illustrate that the profound importance assigned to the culture and technological force now reshaping the world. So some jokes on the globalizations. And this is a comic joke on the globalization why we don't have a cold war with China, because as you know that China will make, for example, a shoe tennis, which is a very what you call very cheap compared to the US made. So this is the list of the global issues that actually uh, we can see now. So, for example, saving the natural world, which is protecting flora and fauna, and the state of Japan, which is facing shockwave of change. Okay, and we have also global issue on the Middle East and the West. This is actually due to the failure to communicate and so on. And the one most important is also world population, because world population is getting bigger, and bigger, and the problem with the world population increasing is actually we have less what I call spaces, okay, and also on the food supplies and so on. So that is one of the biggest problems that actually going around on the global issues. And also we have also issues that right now maybe 50%, I think more towards on the Japan side, 50% of six, or I think 70% of their citizenship actually what you call gold citizen. Okay, meaning that in the what you call 60 age above. Okay, so that is one of the issue that uh, need to be tackled by uh, the global citizen. And another issues related is on the Antarctica, okay, and China in transitions, the battle for water, because as you can see, the population is getting bigger and bigger, and we are fighting for spaces, and we're also fighting for the water supplies and so on. Climate change and the conquest of disease. How can we actually um, try to battle with the disease? So right now, as you can see, the COVID-19 still, we are in battle for it, where we still don't have what I call the perfect vaccine and so on to fight against the COVID-19. And then also another global issues also, for example, the renewable energy. Okay, so there's an issue on the renewable energy where, yeah, even though it is renewable energy and then it is considered as a green energy where you didn't actually produce harmful gases and so on, but in reality, it does produce harmful gases and harmful byproduct. For example, if you want to produce a solar panel, so the solar panel is actually a semiconductor surface, right? A silicon surface. So to produce that solar panel, okay, it goes several chemical process. So this chemical process, the byproduct of this of this making the solar panel product is actually a harmful chemical where it need to be stored in or it need to be destroyed. Okay, so and then at the same time also for electric vehicle, even though it is a green vehicle, but actually when you are actually charging your vehicle, okay, it requires electrical charge, right? The current and voltage, and this current and voltage is actually come from the grid, and the grids is actually need to actually have their sources to produce electricity. So usually the electricity will produce by the wind, sorry, will be produced by the gas and also steam, heat steam, which actually produce also harmful gases. So actually there are issue on the renewable energy also, for example, and then also for the batteries and so on. So to store the energy of the wind turbine or the solar. So still actually the process of making the battery also will produce harmful materials and so on. So what we do to help this community? So to help this community, what you need to do is to have the global citizen skills. Okay, observe and try to actually involve with their community. Okay, then after you have involved with them, then you can see the problems and maybe you can solve the problems based on the engineering knowledge that you have found. So as the conclusion, we feel now that the issue of developing global citizen skill deserve much more attention due to the rapidly progressing internationalization of business, science, finance, commerce, and many others areas. So thank you very much for your support and also attention on this topic. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.